You're in debt. You're broke. You work all the time. You're in debt. You're broke. It's time for you to get up off your assumption and go save some money. I'm 90% wrong because you're a loser. Let's just call it that. You're a loser, and I'm 90% wrong. You need to get up off your assumption and go do something. You need to get up off your assumption and start investing some money.
Dave Ramsey's life-altering advice echoes in our ears as he unveils the stark reality of working incessantly, only to find ourselves drowning in debt and financial despair.
You need to decide that my life is not good enough the way it is, and so I am going to control the controllables. I am going to change some things.
In the quest for financial control, Dave Ramsey divulges the pivotal first steps he took, laying the foundation for a transformative journey toward fiscal responsibility.
We don't become wealthy and successful because of government programs, stimulus checks, $15 minimum wage, socialist ideals. We become successful because of our behaviors. We become successful because we choose our character to be that.
With an air of authority, Ramsey breaks down his acclaimed 7 baby steps, offering a roadmap for those seeking to navigate the labyrinth of financial stability.
And what's become famous around Ramsey was because many, many years ago, decades ago, people came to me and they said, what do you do first? Do you do retirement first, or do I do kids' college first? That's very important. Do I have an emergency fund first? That's really important. I need to get rid of this stupid credit card debt. It's 22%. That's very important. Where do I start? And what we did at the time, many years ago, was we laid it out, and then we adjusted it a couple times in the early days. We haven't adjusted it in 25 years. But we laid out what to do first, what to do second, and we call them the baby steps. Because if you want to eat an elephant, you do it a bite at a time. So if you want to get control of your money, you do it a step at a time. Baby step.
Ramsey delves into the profound impact of personal behaviors, asserting that the very essence of our actions shapes our capacity to amass wealth or languish in financial hardship.
If you were to invest $100 a month from age 25 to age 65, or age 30 to age 70, 40 years, $100 a month. Let's put it in a Roth IRA so that it grows tax-free. And I'm going to recommend a good growth stock mutual fund that has an average annual return of 12%. I own one that's done that for over 75 years.
Addressing the societal disparities, Ramsey acknowledges the varied paths individuals tread, influenced by upbringing, education, and geographical circumstances.
They just chose to fight through the obstacles, some having more obstacles than others. There are legitimate obstacles out there. Pandemic has slapped some folks around harder than others. Legitimately. But the question you've got to ask yourself is, what 10 years from now is going to have led me to a life of abundance?
Unveiling a truth he discovered firsthand, Ramsey emphasizes the transformative power of saving and investing, a mantra that propels individuals toward abundance.
Baby step 1 is you save $1,000 quickly, little starter emergency fund. Once you've done that, and some of you just have that money, you just name it that just now. You already did baby step 1. You just reset that money in your mind over to the side. That's baby step 1. Baby step 2 is you pay off all of your debt except your home using the debt snowball. The debt snowball is where you list your debts, smallest to largest, pay minimum payments on everything but the little one. You attack the little one with a vengeance. You're not going on vacation. You're in debt. You're broke. You're not going out to eat. There's a great place to go when you're broke, to work.
In a striking revelation, Ramsey points out that 100% of wealth builders intentionally save money, underscoring the fundamental principle of financial success.
You spend $100 on things you don't even realize you did it. You impulse more than $100 at Target every month. The reason they check your receipts at Costco and Sam's on the way out the door is not to make sure you didn't shoplift. It's because it's federal law. You spend $200 or you're not allowed out. I think it's easy, if we sit here and discuss it a minute, to think about $100. Now, $100 is a lot of money. But $100 invested every month.
Proclaiming the urgency for a financial renaissance, Ramsey calls for a collective awakening in America to the art of personal finance that has long been neglected.
The behaviors and the way you operate your life cause you to be able to build wealth or not. In spite of all of the things that come against all of us. Is systemic racism real? Absolutely. Does it keep someone of a minority who is a minority from becoming wealthy? No. We know this because there are minorities who are wealthy that started from nothing. Lots of them. Lots and lots and lots of them.
With unfiltered candor, Ramsey rejects the notion that external forces will fix one's life, laying the responsibility squarely on the individual to orchestrate their financial destiny.
Baby step 6 is any other money we can find in the budget we're going to throw at the house, and the average person paying off their house following these baby steps is doing it. We've been doing this for 30 years. Is doing it in about 10.2 years. In our Baby Steps Millionaires study we did of millionaires, some of them had followed our stuff, some of them hadn't. They were doing it in about 11 years.
Wow.
So, but the point is there's an intensity for that first 3 steps to get out of debt and get your emergency fund in place, because until you do that, you're broke. And you're walking around in a culture, strutting around like you got some money. You got no money. Shut up. You're broke. Quit acting like you're something. You're broke.
Ramsey derides the imprudence of relying on a vague hope in the government's ability to secure a comfortable retirement, brandishing it as a foolhardy plan in the face of fiscal uncertainty.
What are your options? Not win and blame it on systemic racism, or win in spite of systemic racism? These are your 2 options. You know what the problem on your investments are? The problem with your investments is not your rate of return. It's not your expense ratio. It's not no load versus load. It's not your nerdy, twisted up, toxic butt opinion about some investment. Your problem with your investments is you don't have any. That's the problem with your investments. 100% of the people that build wealth save money on purpose a lot. Some people do it poorly in a stupid money market account and make no money on their money. Others do it wisely in mutual funds that outperform the S&P, or real estate that they pay cash for that outperforms the S&P. Others are just passive and do the S&P, and they all write books about it and all have a freaking opinion and make money off of you while you're stagnant. That's stupid. Don't be stagnant. Invest money, save money. You know how you're going to do that? You're going to be on a plan. You're going to get out of debt. You're going to live on less than you make, and voila, there is money in the budget. It's called margin, baby. If you're listening to this show and you are under 40 years old and you don't retire with $1 million, that's no one's fault but yours. It's your fault in this country if you retire broke. It's your fault because you made a freaking fortune in your working lifetime. You work your butt off your whole life and you have nothing to show for it. Nothing. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. America, it is way past time for a renaissance in the art of personal finance. It is way past time for you to get your freaking act together. For every one of you listening to Not Retire a Millionaire is absurd. It's absurd. Average household income in America today is $50,000. If you say 15% of that, that's $7,500 a year. If you do that in your 401k with no match, into Roth IRAs, into good growth stock mutual funds, you would retire with around $7.5 million if you save 15% of your income. I don't know if I agree with your set of assumptions. Well, shut up unless you do something about it. Because my set of assumptions have made me rich. So why don't you use my set of assumptions instead of your set of assumptions? Because you're sitting on your assumption, doing nothing. Way past time. Don't you think? So maybe I'm wrong. $7.5 million. Let's say I'm half wrong. So you end up with $3 million. Shut up! You don't want to be stagnant. You get scummy. You need to go be somebody. You need to leave the cave, kill something, and drag it home. Because guess what? Nobody in Washington's going to fix your life. Santa Claus doesn't live there, baby. Have you noticed that the Democrats and the Republicans, neither one could freaking add? Have you ever had any of them send you money? No. They are not going to fix your freaking life. You are going to fix your life. You're going to get on a plan. You're going to get out of debt. You're going to live on less than you make. And then you're going to save some money. You know how rich people get rich? They save money. Wow. I don't know if I agree with Dave Ramsey's investment assumptions. I don't give a crap if you agree with my investment assumptions. You know what my investment assumption is? My assumption is you're going to be broke until you save money. That's my assumption. Maybe you can't save 15% of your income because you're so deeply in debt and you've not followed these steps to get out of debt. Well, then follow the steps and get out of debt so that you can. But maybe you save half that amount. And so you only end up with, let's say, okay, let's just do this. Instead of $7.5 million, let's say that's $750,000 you would have, which is a whole heck of a lot more than social insecurity. Some of you are walking around right now and your best shot at retirement is you're thinking, I sure hope the government, which is well known for its ability to handle money, will take care of me. Well, what a stupid butt plan is that? That's ridiculous. There is no excuse for you to retire broke. 15% of the average household income in America saved from age 30 to age 70, age 25 to age 65. Average household income being $50,000, 15% of that being $7,500 is $7.5 million. If I'm half wrong, it's $3 million. And let's just go with the assumptions here for a second, okay? Since we're talking about assumptions. I set you up in an average household income, and for 40 years, you never got a raise using those numbers. Now, let me help you with this. If you start at average and you don't get a raise for 40 years, you are a loser. Starting at average is one thing, but if you start at average and you don't get a dime raise for 40 years, you're a loser. Losers in our country can retire millionaires. Isn't that bizarre? That's how dynamic this economy is. But you're too freaking worried about The Bachelor or who got thrown off the island to get control of your own life and your own expenses and sit down and do a budget and look in the mirror at your immature self and say no so you can put a couple of $100 away a month so you can retire with dignity instead of being a burden on society and on your children. You can't give to anybody because you're too freaking broke to help anybody else, and you've got all these great ideas about how other people need help. You want to find out who needs help? Get you a mirror. You need help. It's time to save money, people. It's time to save money. And when you spend your whole freaking life giving your money to banks who fill up the skyline and have furniture nicer than yours, that makes you stupid. Get out of debt. When you don't have any payments, you know what you've got? Money. Do I care if you get out of debt? Yes, I want you to win. I want you to have a great life. But do I care if you agree with me? No. I don't care if you agree with me. If you don't agree with me about this money stuff, you're what's known as wrong. I've been doing this longer than most of my critics. They were peeing in their diaper while I was doing this stuff. They're wrong. Live on less than you make. Number 3. In the house of the wise are stores of choice food and oil, but a foolish man devours all that he has. If you spend everything you make, you're a fool. Well, Dave, you don't know about my situation in America today. Wages are stagnant. So why are they stagnant at your house? You know where wages are stagnant? On people who are stagnant. You're only got stagnant wages if you decide to stay there and keep getting those wages. This is not Russia. You can quit. I don't like how much Walmart pays. I don't like how much McDonald's pays. So don't work there, stupid. Go to work for somebody else. I don't like how my company treats me. So leave. Go be somebody. There's no reason that you have to be stuck somewhere because some liberal journalist said you were stuck. You're not stuck. But we know you need to be out of debt and have an emergency fund. That's foundational. Any of us in the financial planning arena know that. It's foundational. And we know you need to be investing to be able to build wealth. That's foundational. And we know your mortgage is big, so paying that off, it's foundational. So just the question was how to put those in an order that was practical and applicable that actually worked. And that's where the baby steps were born. And you know the reason that they've been so successful, why the book, The Total Money Makeover, which is basically the baby steps on steroids, why it's been so successful is because it's a clear path and it's based on basic financial planning logic. And it works. And so even my friends in the financial planning community that don't like me grudgingly admit that the baby steps is freaking genius. And because it is. It is. Not because I'm genius, but because it's a clear path, and we all need a clear path to do whatever it is we're going to succeed at. What are the things I need to do to get to winning if I'm not winning? What's the steps? What's the clear path? We all need that.